Raised Rowdy.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Raised Rowdy podcast. My name's Kurt Ozan.
I'm Nicky T.
And we have Cassidy Daniels on.
I'm Cassidy Daniels.
Yay!
Thanks for coming on, sis.
Oh, thanks for having me, y'all.
We've been talking about this for like ever.
Years.
Yeah.
I know, years.
Well, I'm super excited that it's happening now. And what better timing? Because your internet presence is bigger than ever.
I'm very
And
tickled
we're
about it.
officially sponsored by Surfside, so we have free alcohol.
Wait, I want to cheers with you guys.
Yeah.
To Cassidy and to the internet.
Yeah.
Woo! To the internet.
So you've
Fuck,
been
that's
having a
good.
really good year.
I have.
Yeah. Just in life, I know because we're friends.
Mm-hmm.
And then also with like everything rolling.
Yeah. I just got a fancy new manager.
Yeah.
JC's working with me from Left Right Management.
So great.
I love that.
Yep.
I'm still with my publishers, Liz Rose Music,
Yep.
and they've been working their tails off for me this year, which has been great.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just started yapping on the internet and posting dumb videos of me, and they keep popping off, and people find my music, and it's like a perfect world. I literally get to yap, and people like it.
It's great. You got to release your first song as an artist
Yes,
again.
my very first single.
Yeah, so that's super cool. White Mustang, why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, White Mustang is about this filler that, guess what, drove a white Mustang, and he actually just got engaged, which is kind of crazy. I just found that out this weekend. So I was blaring that song extra hard in my rental car this weekend. But it's also inspired by a weekend in Oklahoma I had with, they gave me a rental car, and it was a white Mustang. And I was singing at a rodeo out in Oklahoma, and I piled up all these cowboys in this white Mustang, and we just took that thing for a joyride all over Oklahoma. I was like, Lord, I had me a good time on that. It may or may not have ended in someone having to be bailed out, but we're good. We're good now.
That's all details for a different time.
Different time. It's for, what is it? Secrecy.
Yeah. To protect the innocent or not as innocent.
Yeah.
But
That sounds like a good time, though.
It was a great time. I mean, I had a great time.
Usually when Cassidy is around, it's a great time.
Agreed.
I just talk, and whoever hears me, and it.
Well, you're authentically you.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that you're doing great on social media, too.
Thanks.
Is like expressing who you are,
Aw,
you know?
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I get that a lot, and the only thing I could think of to like say back to that is I couldn't try to be somebody else I'm not if I tried. Like I couldn't be anybody else even if I tried, because it's just, I don't know, I guess I just don't have that part of my brain where it's like turn it on, be fake. I just can't do it. Probably should have it, but
You probably more than any of my other friends say things that I'm like, I just like my eyes light up when you say them. And I don't even think you mean to do it. Maybe you do, but it's just the things that come out of you are all things that either make me smile or make me laugh.
Yes, it's like all gold.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, thank y'all. Well, a lot of it comes from, Appalachia. And I have two very quick-witted parents, too. Like, if you've ever talked to my mom or dad for, like, more than 5 minutes, they'll say that shit, too, and it's kind of crazy. My favorite thing that I've said recently was at y'all's show. It was the last show that we did at the Rusty Nail.
Yeah.
And I was on stage with my two besties in the world, Sam Stone, Brooke Lee. Like, I love playing shows with them.
Good squad.
And Sam has this very ethereal cowgirl song voice, and she sang one song, and you know how hard it is to make the Rusty Nail go quiet. Like, you could hear a pin drop in there. Did I say that? No. I said, girl, and I said it in the mic because what else? I said, you can hear a mouse pissing on a cotton ball. It was so quiet. She was like, what? And I was like, well, you could.
How do people like have these like? I have some, like Dustin Nunley's got a couple sayings like this like in their brain, like it's hotter than two wool rats fucking in a sock or whatever, or two rats fucking in a wool sock. I'm like, how do you just like have these memorized or like?
They're from so many folk stories in Appalachia. I think like a lot of these come from these small little stories, or people have heard them forever. Like y'all have heard "Colder Than Witch's Tit."
Yep.
Do I know where it comes from? No. But am I still going to say it at every chance I get? Absolutely. So I think they come from like old folklore and stuff.
Yeah.
But you don't like have to like, go home and like practice them. You know, it's like I would have to like practice that.
And I might sometimes, honestly, because if I stutter, it doesn't deliver the same. And I'll probably
Yeah.
like be really sad.
Well, that's the other thing too. It's not just the things you say, but your delivery is part of it.
Perfect.
Oh,
It's
thanks,
great.
guys.
I feel like that's probably due to you being on stage for like your entire life as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing this, y'all, over 10 years, over half my life. I started when I'm 12, and I'm 25 now.
It's crazy.
And it is crazy to think about. Like, I was doing something recently where I kind of felt bad because the girl that was handling me was like, "Isn't this so exciting? It's so fun." And I wouldn't go as far to say that I'm jaded, because I still have so much hope in the country music industry and in music in
You
general.
haven't even started yet.
But
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But she was bringing me through this thing that we was working on, and she was like, "Aren't you so excited?" And I kind of had to lie to her. I was like, "Yeah, I'm excited," but really it was something that I'd done before, and it made me feel weird, because I was like, "Damn, like I wish I was more excited about this,"
Yeah.
you know. But I think that's just part of doing this for a long time. A defense mechanism for artists is, you know, don't get too excited about something until it's actually happening, because
Yeah.
how many times does it get ripped out from under you, you know? So
Absolutely.
maybe that's part of it.
Yeah, it's like you get that hold and it doesn't get cut, or you get,
Oh, yeah.
you know, this hope or whatever, and then it get burned by it.
That happens everywhere though. That's not just artists.
Yeah, I have to remember that happens in all fields.
Yeah. Any business world, or someone's going and they're hoping they're gonna get a promotion, or being told they're gonna, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It happens everywhere.
That happened to me
That's true.
recently, actually.
Yeah.
I got a
Oh.
call. It was like, "Are you interested in playing banjo with this?" You know, whenever it's like a big gig, they don't
Yeah.
tell you who it is. And it was like it was out of LA, some big pop act. And I knew the people that were putting me in for it, and they were all like touring with these like big pop singers. So I'm like, whoa, who's it going to be? Like, and then it's just kind of like nothing ever came of it. They're like, oh, they got
Somebody.
someone already out in LA or whatever. So I was like, dang, that would have been so cool. But it's just,
Yeah.
even at, like I get to do cool shit all the time, but it just happens sometimes.
Well, it's just like the music industry has such a razzle dazzle effect on people. And it's like,
So true.
it's hard because in order to stay grounded, that's one of my goals that I always do. Like, I will go outside barefooted and touch grass, because you cannot do this industry with all this razzle dazzle effect, and then me go home to Appalachia and not be able to sit and have a conversation in my old dive bar where I hung out. Like, there's something to be said about artists who can reconnect with why they're doing it.
Yeah.
Why am I in country music?
Well, and that's like, for me, actually, I had a friend come hang out yesterday, and we just listened to songs and showed each other songs.
How nice is that?
It is. And it made me be in a different headspace. I was like, remember when this is all I cared about was that?
Gosh, I had the best night ever a couple weeks ago. It was me and Fox and Veed Boys
Yeah.
and Will Smith, which is our photographer friend. Yes.
Yep.
And I think it was the night that they played y'all's show. Fox and Veed played the Raise Rowdy show. And after, I was thinking, okay, these boys are going to want to go out and get rowdy in Nashville, because I'm usually the person you go to when you want to do that.
Yep.
And they were like, hey, we're going to grab food and go back to the Airbnb and jam. And I was like, oh, word? It's like, okay. So I show up there, and man, we sat around outside and played guitar and sang and wrote a song for like till 4 a.m. And we had the best time ever. And that's where I was like, there's still people that love music.
Yeah.
That would like rather listen to songs or play and jam than, just call it quits at the end of the show. I'm
Yeah.
like, that comforts me that there's people out there that genuinely love music still.
Well, and those are the ones that are going to be getting good songs forever.
Oh yeah. Timeless artists.
Yeah. Music is a great healer, and it's a great thing that brings people together.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's an important part of it.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it probably does that for you guys making it as much or more than it does for us listening to it.
Yeah. I think it's, making music is therapeutic.
Yeah.
I think as a woman, for me, it's kind of like, how a woman's internal like biology. I'm gonna get hippy dippy on y'all real quick.
Please,
like
that's
it.
why you're here.
A woman's internal biology, was where like built to reproduce, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I ain't had no kids, thank God. I ain't had no children, but
Yeah, with your choice of men.
yeah, God Almighty, could you imagine? By the grace of God, I ain't got no kids, but my kids to me are my songs that I choose to put out, because the I guess what am I trying to say? The ascension of the climax of like getting to, okay, now it's time to actually release this song. You've done all the content. You've written a great song. You've recorded it, mixed, mastered, everything. There's like a climax point where you finally get to release that song. And it's honestly like a birth. Like, obviously not to a physical level, but like mentally, it's like, okay, I've worked hard on this for a lot of times. It is the same timeline, about like a year, 9 months, whatever it takes to put a song out. People don't realize how long it takes.
Yeah.
You know, as soon as you put that out, you're like chilling for a second because you're like, okay, I've got it out. And then you want to do it again right after that.
Yeah.
It's like, I just compare it to childbirth, honestly.
Well, I'm sure it doesn't hurt quite as much, but still hurts some.
Definitely not physically, but mentally, yes.
And it can be as expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. It's
I was just gonna say it's just like the hurry up and wait thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you write a song, you're like, all right, I want it out. Then it's like, okay, well then you got to record it and blah 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 blah, and then 9 months later out comes this song, and hopefully it's playlisted and blah blah blah.
Well, and hopefully you're still on fire about it. You know, by the time you roll around to releasing it, because I can tell a lot of times with my friends who are artists who have had a song out for a little bit, I could tell I'm like, oh, you're sick of that one already. And I mean, God, I'm the worst for it. I get sick of songs too, because as many shows as I do, I'm like, oh my God, okay.
yeah.
But thankfully, I've set a standard for me since I've been on this new project that I'm not putting anything out that I don't want to sing for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
And that's been very helpful. That would be like probably my advice to any up and coming artist. Like, don't put out stuff that you're not going to want to sing for the rest of your life.
Yep. Yeah, you have to be willing for that to be the song that you're known for forever. That's just how it is.
That's fun. And I get to be known for being feral in a white Mustang.
Yeah, it happens.
Feral, what a great term.
I know.
Oh, I love feral.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you started calling me that
Yes.
first and foremost.
Yes, he did.
And then it stuck. And now, honestly, it's probably going to end up being like one of my things. It's like, I call myself a feral rat girl. People are like, what is that? I'm like, I don't know. I might scurry around looking for snacks and buy some fireworks at a gas station. You never know. That's the catch.
Yeah.
You know? But either way, I'm scurrying and snacking. Feral rat girl.
I hear it.
You're like, there's food here. I'm going to consume it while I can.
Yeah, and I'm going to be sneaky about it, too. Like a feral rat girl.
Yeah, we'd like talked about that feral term, and we were going to put it on the shirt, like big, thick font on the front of a shirt.
Yeah.
You know?
I'd wear it on a trucker.
Yeah.
Feral.
Yes.
Just
Oh my God, that would be great.
come on.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, maybe we'll do a Rage Rowdy Cassidy collab on something.
hippy dippy redneck collab.
Yep.
That'd be fun.
That's the other thing that I think you do a really good job with is aesthetic branding
Aw.
and like your vibe. Like, first of all, you have an amazing vibe, you know, and it's really, it fits extremely well with your personality, which I think a lot of people have trouble with, specifically when they're younger. You know,
Oh, yeah.
like you're 25, a lot of people don't have it figured out by then.
You know, something happened with me after I got out of my old band where I just kind of, something snapped and I was like, this is who you are. You know who you are. A lot of times in the music industry, people will try to tell you you don't know who you are. I've always known who I was, but I didn't know the way to execute it, you know? And I'm a businesswoman at the end of the day too. Like I wanted to execute it in a way that is going to make money and that's going to, you know, do well
Help
for
your
my
thing.
career.
Yeah.
And finding out what it was, really all it took was just organizing my thoughts. So like we talked about this, remember we talked about the 4 pillars of your artist brand.
Yeah.
I literally got on Canva, made like a mood board for what I want my brand to be. I made this list of, when you think of a Cassidy Daniels fan, what do they look like? What are they wearing? What are they? And I made this list, and then I just put everything under these 4 pillars of what my brand was going to be. And I sent it off to my team. I said, this is the goal. And they probably thought I was insane because they probably were reading that like, oh my God, this girl is crazy. But I sent it off, and personally for me, it's been something that I can stick to. You know, you want something that you can always stick to.
Yep.
Brand DNA, right?
It's crazy. That's a marketing part that I just didn't know how to do before. I knew yes or no if something was me or not, but I didn't know how to execute it.
Can you describe a Cassidy's Daniel fan? I don't know if I fit. 'Cause I'm a fan, but
Oh, you long-haired bearded man. Yes, you do fit.
hell yeah.
Long-haired bearded men love me.
She would prefer if you had a few more felonies, but
just a smidge.
Is that one of the pillars? No. Felonies.
I think the pillars. What was it? It was like, I'm an Army brat, so that's a big part of my story. Moving around 20 times, and I think with that comes like I'm kind of a gypsy soul where I can float around and just play music. I love to travel. I love to play music and meet people, and then be a local. Another one of it was like she's kind of an outlaw woman. She's kind of got some edge to her, which I talk about her. I'm talking about me.
yeah.
Makes it sound less bad when it's saying her. She's kind of an outlaw woman, and on top of that, you've got my hippy dippy stuff, the witchy woo woo vibe. That's always going to be me.
With the Stevie Nicks kind of crystal wearing vibe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then I forgot what the other one was, which is crazy because it's kind of important. But
Well, as long as you
there was
can look it
another
on
one.
the wall.
Good music.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Oh, thank you. No, it was a songwriter. Like I started this thing as a songwriter. Like I've been working with Liz since I was 14 years old.
It's crazy too.
So
God bless her for believing in you.
God almighty, she can't get rid of me if she tried. She always jokes on stage. She's like, Cassidy literally stalked me, and here's proof that persistence pays off.
Yeah, but it really does.
Well,
In
yeah.
everything in life.
Well, I took it to heart. She told me, I remember I was 14, 15 years old, and she was trying to set me up with some of the PROs. And at the time, Taylor Swift had just made it and just had honestly left country music. And the chatter around Nashville was that we're never signing some little girl again. Da, 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 da. That was like the chatter for a little bit. So, here I was 14, 15 years old coming to Nashville all the time, trying to make connections with the PROs and just managers, publishers, whatever. And I remember I called Liz on the phone. I was upset because I couldn't get anybody to respond to me. And she goes, Cassidy, you have to bother the shit out of people in this town.
That's so true.
And it's kind of scary advice because, I was raised right. I'm not going to overstep my boundaries with people. But I realized that in this industry, most creatives are just like me. If they're not responding to you for a reason, they're probably just ADHD forgot, and that's half the time what it is.
Well, and they have a full slate of things on their plate with no thought about who you are if they don't know you.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Out of sight, out of mind. And at the
Yes.
time, I was still in Florida, so I was out of sight most of the time.
Well, and the squeaky wheel is the one that you put the oil on.
Squeaky
And
wheel.
I got some really good advice too. Is earlier in my touring career, I was kind of at this point where I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna being a band guy is what I want to do. Because it's like you're always sort of tied down to this artist, and it's like, what if they don't want to tour anymore? Blah blah blah. So I was like, what else can I do as a backup plan? And I was kind of like, I had done a bunch of radio shows, and I liked the idea of people. So I was like, I'm going to be a radio rep. I had heard about this job through some friends that were in radio, and they said, well, you should apply for this. And so I sent my email in, an application, and didn't get a response. And so I, shot a text or something, and I'm like, I can't get a hold of this person. And they're like, well, what do you think being a radio rep is? It's like, you're bugging people all the time at sales. It's like, you have to be able to get a hold of people even when they don't want to be gotten a hold of. So I sent lunch into their office with a note. It said congrats on being impossible to reach from, and that day I got a phone call. They're like, come on in an interview.
That's kind of iconic. I love that. That was like the backhanded fruit basket.
Yeah.
But it's whatever it is, it's to stand out, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
seriously.
Whether that's a job you're applying for in an industry that you want to break into, or whether it's being an artist and wanting your stuff to stand out on social media so that people listen to your music.
Yeah.
How
Isn't
do you
it
do
crazy that that's a thing that we have to do in this field? It's not just running together. It's everybody's standing out and everybody has one thing that makes them super cool.
Yep.
Usually, hopefully.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. I'm very blessed that I get to work amongst so many creatives because it just makes me not feel as shitty when I have creative brain and just can't can't do adulting things. But also it's just interesting to see everybody's path.
Yeah.
It's not as much as a competition as it is just 15,000 different lanes.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Well, and it's hard to steer your own ship. It's almost easier for someone to tell you what they think you are.
Oh, yeah.
But what really matters is what you want to be and what you know you are.
We'll see if that happens. If people are telling you who you are, then you're just going to get up on stage. Ain't nobody going to believe a word you say.
Yep.
You know, there's some artists in town that I'm watching on stage and they're singing their songs. I'm like, I don't believe them.
Mm-hmm.
Like who? No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, oh, Lord, it's that kind of
I'm stirring
podcast.
the pot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that kind of podcast.
Yeah.
I'd rather smoke my pot rather than stirring it.
Yeah. See, there's another great line.
That was a song. I heard that in a writer's round. So I forget. I wish I could remember who sang it. But Girlie, if you're listening, great song. She has a song called "I Don't Stir the Pot, I Smoke It." I was
That's
like,
funny.
hell yeah.
It's one of those things too where it's like, you know what needs to be done as an artist, as a person, right?
Yeah.
It's just, are you going to take the time to do it?
Yeah.
You know, because life's really all about priorities.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whatever you put is your biggest priorities are the things that you're going to take care of.
It's like, how bad do you want it is always what I hear. And, you know, I think it's kind of crazy to think about. Like, a lot of these artists in town act like they don't want it sometimes. And I understand, because we all know this industry can be a bitch.
It's tough.
Like, it's
a roller coaster.
it just breaks you down, builds you up, breaks you down, builds you up. And it's like, you're honestly just this, like, moldable Play-Doh. At any time you're going to either get harder or get softer and moldable. And these people, like, hold on, Kurt. Hold on.
Sorry.
I was trying to do the hand motions as in Play-Doh.
Yeah, got it.
Anyways, I forgot what we was talking about. Damn it.
I will say that some people don't know. They know they want to be an artist, but they don't know what they want to say. And that's what's hard. I think the hardest part about being a songwriter, it's like you're not just writing songs. It's like you have to have some sort of commentary like on life that people find interesting through your lens, which is like a tough thing to do.
Well, I remember hanging out with 21-year-old Ella Langley and her saying that. You know, her saying, I'm trying to figure out exactly what I want to say before I start putting out songs, saying stuff.
Oh my gosh.
You know,
I love her so much. I'm
Me
such
too.
a fan. And okay, can we talk about this with Ella real quick? Because I think she's the best example ever. So when I first started on my very, very first record that I ever released, I was 19 years old and Chip Matthews produced it.
No.
Yeah, he did. And he was good friends with Liz. And God, that man taught me how to be in a studio. Like, truly, I didn't know how to record. I didn't know how to, you know, control my voice on a mic and that thing. And Chip really taught me how to do that. And I'm still very, very proud of that first record. You know, we had talks of taking it down as soon as I released the new single, White Mustang. And I said, no, leave it up. It's part of my story. All the songs are still very true to me, and I love it. Anyways, he told me this really great advice about what people mean when they say you're not ready as an artist. And he said, there comes a time where this artist will walk into a room, any artist will walk into a room, and all of a sudden, all of the attention in the room goes to them because they look great, they feel great, they have this aura about them that's like just exudes confidence and like, I look good, I feel good, I sound good, I know what the fuck I'm here for.
Yeah.
And Ella, I remember when that changed with her. Because Ella is such a great time anyways. Like, she'd come out, you know, and be camo pants, camo shirt, and barely no makeup on, just have a great time and hang out and support her friends. But as soon as she came out, about beginning of last year, she had her lashes on. She had her hair cut. She figured out how to, like, she just found her style, really. And, I mean, she came out, and anytime she'd walk into a room, everybody would be like, who is that? And that's something I really strive for this year. She was, like, who I kind of took after, honestly. I was like, Ella's, I guess, would you call it a glow up? I don't think it's a glow up because she didn't need it.
Right.
But
Well,
the way that it changed everything was crazy.
it's presentation,
Yes.
right? It really is.
She
Like,
just locked in.
yeah.
And it looked great. Like, I remember it's like you'd see her out, you know, before. And then all of a sudden you'd see her out this way and be like, oh my God, that's an artist and she should be topping charts.
Yeah.
Like, that looks like someone who would be on tour with Riley Green.
Yeah.
And now she is.
Well, yeah. And that's like, it's more than just a look, too, in my head. It's how you command presence on stage.
Yeah.
It's how you command presence on social media. It's all of that. It's, I can tell you that I can almost guarantee when you sent that list of things that's you to your team, they were all high-fiving each other and just so happy.
Aw.
Because when someone takes the reins, if you don't take the reins of your own thing,
Yeah.
then no one's going to be able to help you along with it forever.
It took
It
me
might
a
work
long
for a
time
little
to
bit.
figure
It's
that out.
not.
Nicky T spitting truth.
He
as
is.
always. True, man. And like managers love it, and everyone the label loves it. If it's coming from here, that's when it's the most authentic.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a hard thing for me to learn too, because like I'm an army brat, you know, and aside from being an army brat, I'm a cop's kid. Like my whole life taking orders and making people proud. Like, you know, if someone hadn't have told me that I sounded good singing, I'd be in the army right now, which is kind of crazy to think about. But my point is, I spent my whole life being a soldier of some sorts. Like, okay, you tell me to do this, I'll run through a brick wall and get it done. You know, like I'll get shit done. But before, I didn't really know what I wanted to get done, what I wanted to present to the world. And then at the end of the day, it's kind of crazy to think about that you don't think about that stuff, because it's like, it's you. Like, you are the artist. You're the one that's going to have to do all this stuff. So if other people are telling you how to do it, it don't make sense for you to get on stage and, you know, just act a part. Then you're just an industry plant, you know?
Yeah. Or it's like, I mean, if you think about one soldier can change the world, but 1,000 soldiers, that's what it takes to really move the needle.
Yeah.
But one general that can make 1,000 soldiers be better than they were before they were around can really change the world.
My gosh. That's something I love to see too. Like, if we translate that sentence into like music terms, the thing I love about Nashville is that people bring their crew up with them. Like, you know, the classic example is like Morgan and Hardy and Ernest. You know, as soon as Morgan started taking off, he brought Hardy with him. And as soon as Hardy started taking off, he brought Ernest with him. And I loved seeing that. Ella's doing it right now with her all-female tour. I mean, she's bringing Carter, Meg McCree, like all great artists. And
Maggie.
yeah, she's just bringing these girls out, and she's making that her camp, and it's cool as shit. Like, I can't wait to bring my people out one day, you know? It's all about community.
Yeah, Nick always describes it like classes.
Yeah.
You know, it was like when Luke came up and he brought up his boys with him, you know, like Drew and all that. And there's like people bring up, and I think it's so cool.
It's so cool. Like, I don't think it's like that out in other cities, is it?
I don't know. I haven't been there enough to know other places.
Me either. Lord help.
I think that the songwriter community here is part of what makes it feel like it's not as dog eat dog, you know?
Yes.
You still have some of that, but I feel like talking to other people in rock music, like the headliner wouldn't let you use any of their production. They wouldn't let you use any of their lighting. You know, you had to come, you want to do that? You can pay for a third of the rental, you know, like stuff like that. Country music's a lot more open and giving.
We're still the South.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what it all boils down to. It's like, you know, what are we going to say no? Now, if someone starts acting up and acting a fool on the road, axed immediately. That's just how it goes. And, God forbid, the backside of that, with Nashville being that way, Nashville's very Southern. We love everybody. We'll give the shirts off our backs to whoever. But if someone does somebody wrong in this town, you about can't get away from it. You know, if somebody does something that's like, ooh, that was a really bad move. Because people in this town talk so much, it kind of makes it like, how do you recover?
Yeah.
And a lot of people get run out of town, honestly, which is a negative, but, you know.
Little big town, you know? That's why they call it that.
That's why they call it that.
Yeah.
It's so true, though. I remember, like, being in Pittsburgh, you know, where I lived forever, and hearing a rumor, right? Rumors in another city are maybe true 5% of the time. Like a rumor about someone famous or about someone important. Here, it's like 90% true.
Oh, yeah.
If you hear something, there's a good chance it is some way based in fact.
Where there's smoke, there's fire.
It's wild.
I've heard some pretty wild ones, though.
Absolutely agree. I have too.
Which I'm not going to say because they're not
wrong.
True.
Yeah. Yeah, but you'll hear stuff and you're like, no. And then 3 months later, you're like, oh, yeah, all right, well, I guess I should have known.
Yeah,
Y'all.
I mean, that's definitely happened for sure.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. I love the tea.
Yeah.
Y'all know me.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
a
It's
Southern
good season
woman.
for it right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, I'm a Southern woman through and through. Surfside,
Here's the
spilling
tea.
the tea with
Yeah.
Cassidy
Yeah.
Daniels.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
No, I just love it. I love being one, I like when people trust me enough to tell me the tea because it's like means I'm being a good friend. I'm like, okay, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I don't like spreading rumors about people that's not true, but I have pretty good discernment.
You like reading them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Have you seen that Reddit thing?
What was it?
Oh man, there's like a thing on Reddit where people post like Nashville gossip.
Yes. There's celebrity wives of Nashville.
That's what it is.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No.
Well, it's great. If anybody's a Reddit person out there, get on that. Get on it. Because I read it daily.
Yeah.
I love knowing everybody's tea.
It's a little
too much tea for me, but I get it.
Well, you are men.
Yeah.
I'm a girly. Nothing's too much tea for me.
Yeah, I get it.
Well, because also, too, the fun part about it, I think this is the difference between guys and girls. Like, guys will talk about it and be like, oh, that's crazy, and then move on.
Yeah.
Girls will be like, okay, what was she or what were they thinking when they did this? Like, let's try to play devil's advocate and think about it. And, you know, me as a person, I always try to give people the benefit of the doubt. If I hear somebody's out there being crazy, I'm like, maybe they just broke up with their person. Maybe they just, whatever. So
I'm that way too.
I try to
I just
give
assume
people,
everyone's good.
Try to give grace.
Isn't
Yeah.
that crazy? Yeah, I really, really do think everyone is. What was that song? I believe most people are good. That's me.
Yeah.
I do too. And sometimes I'll get caught up in a moment where I'm not like that,
Yeah.
but it usually passes quick.
Oh, if somebody does something outright to me and it's just like straight up shitty, I will be like, I get so mad about it because I use myself as the standard, I guess. Like, there's been times everybody has bad days, you know, and I'm specifically talking about like if an artist is just like a dick to a fan, everybody has bad days, you know. One time in Columbia, South Carolina, I got my eyebrows waxed off and also found out my boyfriend was married in the same day. You think I was mean to the people that came out and seen me that night at the show? No. That's a pretty bad day. I could have been mean to everybody. I didn't have no eyebrows.
They were all gone?
Yeah. And my boyfriend was allegedly married.
Oh, you were dating him at the time.
I was, yeah. So
Wow.
in the same day, I got my eyebrows waxed off and then found out my boyfriend was married.
Yeah, it's not the best.
It was horrible, but was I a bitch to people? No.
Yeah.
Did you get a song out of it?
Oh, many. Many.
Hell yeah.
Cassidy has enough.
Okay, so this is tea, right? Is this tea?
This is tea.
Yeah. For
Okay,
sure.
I like this. This is good. Give us more. I like it.
On my first record, Rough Side of Town's about this dude.
Okay.
So go listen.
Go check it out, internet.
Well, that's like me and Cassidy will hang out oftentimes on the back porch and just chill.
Yeah.
And we just like catch up. And it's usually tea talk. You know, she'll ask me for stuff. And
Yeah.
I don't always have as much fun stuff as she has, but sometimes I do.
Oh, I always have the tea.
We always have the best, like, these kind of conversations when we turn the recording off.
Oh,
It's-
Oh yeah, we can't have the now here's the thing. You could spill the tea to your friends, but the tea can't go willy-nilly
Yeah,
everywhere.
Yeah.
Because then you're just a gossip and not that's mean. If you just talk about people all the time, not knowing who's who, and you know, I had a girl this weekend come up to me and start talking shit within 5 minutes of knowing me, and I was like, girl, I was like, I could be that person's sister and you wouldn't even know. And
Yeah.
I guess I had to learn that the hard way. Y'all want to know the worst one I ever did?
Obviously, we do.
I can talk about this because Liz thinks it's really funny. So there was this song that Liz wrote, which, you know, she's written a million. And the song came on and I sang it, or I was like singing along to it. And I just looked up and I was like, damn, I hate this song.
Oh, God.
And Liz goes, I wrote it.
Oh, God.
No.
And I was like,
I've
My
heard
bad.
that same story, but with the different people
yeah.
like a dozen times.
I think that's like, it kind of is a canon event for Nashville
Yes.
people that you can't like.
Mm-hmm.
And then what was so funny is Kate, who works for Liz Rose Music, another song came out and Kate was like, what the hell is this song? Who are they singing about? Da 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 da. Why do they sound like that? And Liz is like, I wrote that one. And Kate had just started at Liz Rose Music and was like,
Oh, no.
Just
oh my
shriveled
God.
into
yeah,
herself.
literally.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
And I was like, girl, me too. I've done that like twice.
So what's a learning moment from this? Is if you don't have something nice to say, then don't say nothing.
Yeah.
No.
Or
the
do your
learning-
research.
Yeah. The learning lesson is be careful who you talk shit to.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
about. You
Nah.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it ain't even talking shit. It's a matter of an opinion, honestly. Unless you're like absolutely be like, that song sucks. Like, whatever. But like, this
Well-
was just like not my cup of tea.
My version of this is like, it's not as interesting, I guess, but I was on the road, and a buddy of mine, whose name I'm not going to mention, we were at a Wendy's, and Luke was playing on the radio, and he's like, I don't get the Luke Combs thing. Why is he always so humble? I'm kind of tired of the humility in every song or whatever. And Does Me was playing, and everyone else at Wendy's was just like, and he's like, what? And they're like, Kurt plays in Luke's band. And he's like, well, he's a really good guy and singer. I'm like, it's okay, dude. Not everyone has to like the music, but it was like,
why is he so humble? Is crazy.
Yeah, I don't know.
What? That's like, why are they so nice?
yeah,
It's weird that he doesn't cheat on his wife. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my God. See, I'll always spill tea about that. I will tell everybody everything about people cheating because that shit bothers me.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
It's tough.
If you're cheating, don't cheat around me because I'll tell people.
True.
Yeah, I mean, it's better to just not do it. That's the easiest way.
Well, could you imagine?
Yeah.
What a concept.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, this isn't that. We're not the scandal podcast.
No.
This is just the hangout
No.
music podcast.
Yeah, we're the chill good vibes
But
podcast.
if you're listening, be a good person.
Yeah.
Be a good person.
Easier said than done sometimes.
It is. And dude, I mean, same thing you're talking about having a bad day. That person had a bad day just in a really, really, really bad way sometimes,
Lord, that's true. Sometimes it do be that way. On them big jobs,
Yeah.
Well, that's like, I have friends that are swingers.
Cute.
Yeah, I did their ceremony for their wedding.
Wow.
Yeah, it's not my lifestyle, but like, who am I to judge what makes them happy?
Out of curiosity, what's the ceremony like?
I was just going to
It was
ask that
just-
same question.
My ceremony I do when I conduct a wedding is, do you want the 3-minute version or the 3.5-minute version?
Are you an ordained minister? What?
Yeah, absolutely. Not in Tennessee because they're
Not minister, though, right?
not. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I am.
That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Is
The
it?
Church of Nicky T.
Well,
Yo.
not that, but
I'll subscribe to your philosophies.
yeah, I'm an ordained
Wow.
minister in 2 different religions. My mom's not stoked about it, but
What's the other one?
Dudism,
Oh my God.
Wait, what?
the Church of the Dude.
From
He's
like Big
Lebowski.
Lebowski?
Yeah, but some states don't take that as an acceptable religion, so I'm also registered in Church of Christ, another form of the Church
Yeah.
of Christ.
The denomination.
My
Okay.
mom was like, "Will you stop doing that, please? Because you're Catholic still." And I was like, "Yeah,
Oh.
yeah, it hurts my mom a
That
little
upset
bit."
her.
But having said that, we're doing the Maxwell's wedding next year.
That is so funny. I
Raise
love
Rowdy
that for
presents
y'all.
the Maxwells. For real. I'm not kidding.
Is it actually?
I have all these ideas of things that they should do. They probably won't do them, but like, I want the flower girls to be dudes handing out beers.
Beer boys.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want that.
I want that too.
Yeah.
Get
like-
Kurt to do it.
It doesn't
Kurt
have
could
to be a
beer
wedding.
boy.
Let's just someone give me a beer.
Yeah. Ta-da.
Thanks.
Surfside.
Oh shit! Ask and you
Wait,
shall receive.
that is so funny. I never knew that about you.
Yeah.
Have y'all seen that dude on socials right now? And he's he's just this guy. I don't even know how to explain him. He's honestly like a cryptid to me. Like, he's this dude that's like, I have been evading taxes for 2 years and I've started the Church of Sound. And then he pans
Oh,
the camera
yeah.
and there's like all these stacks.
Speakers. Yep.
Like,
I've seen this.
oh my gosh. And he's like, if you like to rock out, come join my church. And I'm like, you know what? Honestly.
And it's like Van Halen playing in the background.
Yeah, or
hell
it's
yeah.
like,
He has that Van Halen speaker now.
Yeah.
does
might
he?
not saw that
It
one.
was Freebird last time I seen
Oh.
it. And I was like, oh my God, this is, I like this.
Yeah. Well, I still believe in God and I love Jesus, but I do marry my friends sometimes.
Cute. Marry,
So,
I don't get
marry
married
your
to
buddies
them.
to
Yeah,
each other.
Marry them to each other.
I was like, you can marry your friends.
No. Oh yeah, you could, but
I mean, I don't care.
I did one and then I was like, all right, that's it. And then my other friend was like, will you do ours? And I was like, yeah, that's it. And then I did the third and they were like, I was like, yeah, that's it. And then Alex was like, you gotta do it, Nicky.
See,
And
I was
like,
about to say,
all right.
you messed that up because now everybody's
we
going
need to build a wedding package. Raise Rowdy presents.
We'll do it
wedding
at the
package.
Duck Blind.
Yeah, it's like you get
I would
10%
die.
off
Oh my
the
God.
bar
Yeah.
and 15% off merchandise.
We'll just put your pictures on that big screen at the top upstairs.
Mark Oriot is
I
there
mean,
for
there
some
is-
reason.
He's a flower girl, of course.
He's a beer boy.
Y'all,
And Eli.
I mean, there is a steeple on the Duck Blind.
Really?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, it's
All right,
the
fix
number
it.
one wedding venue.
Yeah.
Y'all remember that time I tasered Mark Oriot outside the Rusty Nail?
Yeah, you guys are complete morons. It wasn't like the strongest taser in the world.
It
which is
wasn't
good.
charged.
Don't tase me, bro.
Yeah.
Well, he asked for it. He asked me to tase him, which is
Yeah.
his own creepy little fault.
Oh, I don't know. Have we told you the date for the Christmas party at the Nail yet?
Oh, Lord.
Oh, December 9th. Put it on the schedule.
I'm gonna
We
put it
just
down.
announced that on the pod.
There you go.
Yeah. But it's open to public, so it's fine.
I'm the public, and I'm going to bring all my rowdy friends.
Yeah. Well, we love the Nail. We know you do too.
Oh, I have a great time anytime I'm
Yeah.
at the Rusty Nail, y'all, is an institution.
Yes.
It is. There's, for people that don't know, it's this bar outside of Nashville. It's got a big sand beach volleyball court. It's got an outside stage.
Yeah.
It's got pool tables. You could smoke on the outside part where the pool tables are.
Yep.
There's
Tater
TVs.
tots.
Tater tots. Their food's not bad.
All the fried food you can imagine.
Yeah, their food's
wings are
great.
good.
I love
Decent
the
beer
bartenders.
prices.
Yeah.
The bartenders keep trying to get me to work there. I'm like,
They have, at all times, they have 4 different $3 beers at all times. And then the surf sides are $4 anytime we do an event. Which is sick.
remember? Yeah. Yum.
I've been
I
playing
love
there
that
since
press.
2013, probably.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my
Well,
gosh.
Freak Show, I don't know if it started there, if it was just there for a while, but
Yeah.
Music Row Freak Show was there.
Was it?
Ashley McBride, when
Yeah.
she did a documentary for, I forget which station it was, like which channel, but she was at the Rusty Nail and did some content.
Yeah, I've seen her play there before.
Yeah.
I used to
She-
play there for free with this girl Alicia, like when I first moved to town, and she's like, "Hey, will you play guitar for me at this Riders Round?" And she's like, "I'll pay you this." I'm like, "Just drive me, then I could drink." Because the Ubers weren't around, you know.
Me
I'm
and
not going
Kurtz.
I'm not driving to the Nail.
Yeah.
that's not
Yeah.
happening.
Well, having said that, there is lots of parking at the Nail. That's one of the reasons we love it.
I want to do a car show there so bad.
I bet you Tommy will
Or
let you.
we could do a bike show or something crazy.
They used to have bike night and then they stopped doing it.
I wonder why.
I think it just cost them too much money. They weren't making money.
No.
That's
know,
crazy. Well,
They just
because
need
they
to be
got
net positive, you know?
yeah, they got roadside across the street that's always biked out.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
there's always people there. A car show would be fun though. I wanted to do that for like the White Mustang release, but damn, dude, like I swear I put out White Mustang. So let me give you all the timeline. I put out my very, very first record in February of 2020. And I was
Perfect.
touring. I was doing like all the things. I was on the road with Willie Nelson. And then COVID hit.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn.
Not the best.
And you know, it happened to everybody. I'm not like poor pitiful me because it messed up a lot of people's stuff. But then, as soon as I put out White Mustang, Hurricane Helene come through, and that wiped out half my fan base from having service because
Yeah.
you know all my people's out in Appalachia. And then Milton come through the next week, and I'll be damned if both my towns that I grew up in got like tore up through these hurricanes. And I was like, damn, I just put a song out. I feel guilty. Like, you know, I'm not going to be like, oh, go stream my song when, like, people ain't got houses no more, you know?
Yeah.
So it was, like, kind of one of those things where I was like, damn, what? Maybe it just wasn't meant to be for this song to, like, just come out the gate swinging, you know? I don't know. That's a random fun fact.
Well, you know which song I'm waiting for.
I'm so excited. Crazy Love is on the list, y'all. That's, like,
Smash.
it's my live song, you know? And I'd half a mind to really just go record it live somewhere, and that just be the only recording.
We should just do one with Kurt back in the back room here.
I'm telling
Make
you.
Charlie do it.
We always could too.
Well, we could even do that with a full release. Too,
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, and I want to go in and cut it for sure, like
Yeah.
because
It's
I
such a
always have
smash.
such great players on my records, which my producer Chris Raffetto is phenomenal at that. Like, I think Rob McNelly has played on every single one of my everything I've ever put out. Rob McNelly's played on, and I mean he's a monster.
What did I play on?
You played on Trailer. You played Dobro and
Steel guitar.
Steel on Trailer, which I love. It sounds great.
Thank you.
I'm so excited for that one out too. I've got like 3 right now in the running for the next single,
Sick.
and we're waiting to see what's going to happen with this TV show that I might be doing. And
Are we allowed to talk
figuring out-
about that or no? Because Nick filled me in. Nick says no.
no, we are not allowed to talk about it. But
Okay.
I'm going to be on a TV show.
Survivor.
Keep an eye out. Oh my God, I'd be out the first day. I'd be like, y'all ain't got no Chick-fil-A. I'm done. No, okay, so I have a friend that was on Survivor, Whitney Duncan.
Oh, really?
And she's one of my favorite people ever in town to write with. She was a badass artist. She used to be in a trio. And then she literally, I think she met her husband on Survivor.
That's wild.
And like, I look at her and she's a badass. And I look at her husband, I'm like, that's a man's man. I'm like, oh my
Like us.
God. So like, low key, I'm like, What if they turned Survivor into like a dating show? What if it was like The Bachelor, but like in the woods?
I think that's called Redneck Island. That Riley was on back in the
Oh,
day.
really?
Was he on one of them shows?
Oh yeah.
No.
I think it was Redneck Island.
Chase was on Survivor.
Yeah.
Remember when Wild Greg tried to get me to get on what's that show? Something the South. What is it? Party Down South.
Party Down South.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you would be great on a show like that, honestly.
Oh my God! No, I'd embarrass my family.
I want to be on American Gladiators where they have those tennis ball guns and they shoot them and you got to run around and like knock off laser and stuff like that.
You want to be the gladiator?
No, I want to be the contestant.
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
ripped enough. I mean, I'm pretty ripped, but I'm not that ripped.
I was gonna say I do not want to get hit with tennis balls.
I mean, can't hurt that bad.
I mean, it hurts more than you would think it would, dude. Those things are going fast.
You ever been hit by a racquetball? Them
Yes,
things
a lot of
hurt.
times. And I've been hit by a baseball.
Do you
and
play
a basketball.
racquetball?
I used to play the shit out of racquetball.
Dude.
And I love racquetball. Luke and I used to play all the time.
I love it too. That's like one of my favorites. Weirdly, my dad is like a world-renowned racquetball champ. My dad has lived a million lifetimes, y'all.
That's awesome.
He used to like fly fighting chickens around and like, I don't know. My dad has lived some lives.
You know what I love about
Racquetball's one of
racquetball? Is you can whack the shit out of that ball and you're in that box, so you don't have to go chase it afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're a little angry, play some racquetball. And it's good
Yeah.
exercise.
Yeah.
And it makes that nice little ASMR sound. It's like,
Yeah.
I love how y'all do the sound. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to play racquetball a little bit when I was a kid, but my shoulders are too bad.
Yeah.
Man.
Anything where I have to swing that often,
Swinging, not Nick's forte.
no, not anymore.
Unless he's marrying him.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey.
I'm sorry.
No, that's the joke I was going for.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
No, it's but man, that is a fun sport and a good sport for indoor. Is racquetball kind of like pickleball? How's pickleball work?
Pickleball's like tennis for people that can't run,
Yep.
Sounds great.
which
honestly.
is perfect for me. I'm like, hell
My
yeah.
dad is now playing pickleball now.
That's sick.
As everyone
I
is.
love
Yeah.
it.
My parents play together.
Dude, when we did that that event with Andy Gilly in the park, the Pig Fest, there was like a pickleball tournament as part of it.
Yeah.
Pig Fest.
Dude, it was
I love
sick.
it.
Pig
I wanna
Fest
hit-
rules. Hendersonville's awesome.
I want to hear about that. I'm really sad I missed it because that looked like y'all was like in your element.
It was so
It
great.
was like,
Dude, it's just a community fair. It's a community fair that they
That's
have
great.
a barbecue cook-off, and they had 48 or more competitors.
And the bar was called The Trough.
Yeah.
the trough.
No, it wasn't. I just made that up.
No.
That would be sick, though.
Man.
The,
We
and
should
it
start
was,
a bar called
You
The
had
Trough.
me. I was like,
that is a great one. The best part about it was sponsored by Dude Wipes, and which is amazing. First of all, and so when you're going up the highway, they had this humongous Dude Wipe sign, and then the slogan for Dude Wipes was a skid mark free weekend. I was like, this is hilarious and amazing.
you probably just heard my TMJ pop in the mic. But the way my jaw dropped, skid mark free weekend is crazy.
It was so great.
Someone got paid. Some advertising
Oh
firm
my
got paid
God.
to come up with that.
They
We're
should use
talking
that for
about it, so they
NASCAR.
Yeah.
should. You know,
They
like,
should use that for NASCAR.
That's genius. Yeah.
But-
Skid
Oh my
free.
god.
it was so much fun, and I mean, great acts. You know, like Dylan Carmichael headline, Julia Cole was there, old Ray Fulcher, baby, let's go.
Aw.
Payday Ray.
Yep, it was great. And the second day was just like the barbecue cook-off. So the first day was like the music portion, and it was like a ticketed thing. And second day was open, and they did all the barbecue. It was super nice and very fun, and honestly, like reminded me of an extremely more well put together version of like fairs that we had when we were home.
Aw,
You know,
I
it was
love
wholesome.
that.
Families there. It was
Those
very
types
fun.
of little community ones are always so good. And honestly, they really do more for like if you're an artist or you're a brand and you're trying to garner some like fans and stuff. Those are the best because people get excited when somebody, you know, nationally recognized comes
Yeah.
to their little town.
Dude, it was great, and Hendersonville's beautiful.
I love Henderson.
We went to the local after with DJ Cliffy D for an after party.
Yay!
Yeah, it was
love
very
Cliffy.
fun.
And it was skid free.
Skid mark free the whole weekend.
There goes
They
the
were
tea.
handing
my
out
God.
dude wipes.
She's spilling the tea.
That spit the tea. Oh my god! Can I tell y'all a NASCAR story that I
course you
had from
can.
this weekend?
Just talk as long as you want.
Oh my
Cassidy.
god! Okay, so I was at the Hondo Rodeo this
Yes.
weekend. We'll talk more on that later, but it was a great festival. I I mean, I was about up as a homeless man on house arrest singing Hank Jr. Because what else would you do? You know, I mean, I was having a great time, and when I have a great time, normally people take notice because I'm acting a fool. And this man, I was with my friend Brooklyn, who lives out in Arizona. We was out front row or like in the pit or whatever, and there was this man there who's talking to me and kept saying stuff to me through the concert, and finally he starts like hitting on me a little bit, and he goes, "Baby, I'm a NASCAR driver." And I turn around, I'm like, "Sure you are, honey." Like, I'm like, we're out in Arizona, you know, what the hell? And then I look at him a little bit more. I'm like, okay, he might really be. Even then, I didn't give a because I'm like, I play in Mooresville all the time. I'm really tight with a lot of the NASCAR family there. Like, I've been doing that I'm from North Carolina. I know a lot of people in that industry.
Have you sang anthem at some of that stuff?
I've sang the anthem at Dover Speedway for Monster Series Cup. Like, I've done all the things. And I'm talking to this guy, and he literally pulls the "baby, I'm a NASCAR driver" thing on me. And I turned around, I started sassing the hell out of him. I'm like, "Dude, I'm playing Mooresville all the time." I was like, "You think I care?" And he's getting excited. He's like, "No way, you do, whatever." And we're like bantering back and forth, right? And he's got his floor pass band on because we were on the floor. And I have all my creds on my little side because my friends ran the festival, so they like hooked me up. And I was like, "Well, we're going to the bar. Do you want to come?" And he's like, "No." He's like, "I'll go get my own, the NASCAR bar." And I was like, "Okay, well, we're going to this one." And he's like, "Okay, maybe I'll come with you." And I walked through the gate, and they wouldn't let him in. And I said, "Looks like you don't have the credentials." And I went on, and I never seen him again. And I'll be damned if I wasn't laying out by the pool the next day on top of my hotel in Phoenix. And I look up at this big-ass billboard. And that man's face is on that billboard for the NASCAR Championship Speedway. I was like, "Oh, my God." I was like, "Well, I done messed that up." No.
All right, well, we'll have to post this clip, and then you guys can fall in love.
No, he's probably scared of me a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good way to start, you know? Got to give him the cold shoulder at first a little bit.
I always put my worst foot forward first while dating. Because if they can handle me at my feral, they can deserve me at my, like, princess mode. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's probably horrible advice. Don't take that. But personally, that's what I do. Because also, I couldn't fathom adding somebody to the mix right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine if there was a man in my bed right now?
What if they had a race car?
I don't.
That'd be cool.
Woo! Like, want a cookie? Like, shit, my Hyundai Tucson's a race car according to the state of North Carolina.
All those tickets.
Yeah, if I get another speeding ticket, I'm going to jail.
Oh, speaking of tickets, I got to pay that.
Yeah, you do.
What'd you get?
Dude, just parking outside of the bar where we host at. $95 ticket. It'd be like that sometimes.
At the back lot behind.
No, like on the street, kind of outside of the Morris.
That's
like
lame.
By right where Red Door is.
That's not very fergalicious.
It's not the best. Net negative for me that night.
Yeah,
that's how it works sometimes.
Well, I got the same speeding ticket like in the same spot 3 different times.
You think you
probably
like,
the same cop?
Smarten up.
Well, I'll tell you where it was, and this is the only thing with the hurricane. I was like, "That's fine. It's gone. It's fine." There's a spot coming down the mountain through the gorge, like coming from Tennessee to North Carolina in Haywood County, and there ain't nothing there. It's all Smoky Mountain National Park, but the road got washed out, so it's not there no more. And I'm kind of like, whoa, because honestly, there's no way not to speed down there because you're literally coming down the mountain from there, and it's a speed trap because it goes from like 70 to 45 or something crazy. And if you ever get a speeding ticket, you better hope it ain't in Haywood County, North Carolina, because I mean they ran me through the ringer for it, and it is literally, it goes from like 70 to like 55, 45, something like real quick, and they're waiting right there in this little carved out place in the mountain. And I got that same ticket like twice when I was going out to North Carolina to play shows. That was like my honey hole for a while. You know, you find places where you just make good money to pay your bills and stuff. And man, they said the last one tried to charge me for drag racing, and I'm like, I'm in a Hyundai Tucson. But I was going like 20 over, so apparently that's looked down upon.
Frowned upon.
It's not hate on Hyundais, though. Hyundais are nice.
Yeah, I got a Hyundai.
I have a Hyundai, and I love it. That
But it
thing
ain't a drag
hauls
racer.
ass.
It ain't a NASCAR,
Apparently.
yeah.
Yeah.
It ain't a NASCAR, so to answer
They're not
your
putting
question.
it on any billboards with your face on it, you know.
Bruh, could you imagine? It was like Cassidy Daniels for Hyundai.
I could.
You just spoke it into
I
existence.
feel like my fan base are more Altima drivers.
I love that.
Slightly ratchet, you're saying?
The feral rat girls drive Ultimas, which I drove a Sentra for a hot minute. Y'all, I had this damn Sentra. Get this. I bought it down in Florida, or I didn't buy it. My parents bought a car down in Florida, and the dealership had a buy one, get one free deal.
On cars?
On cars. It was
What?
crazy. Well, so you got one free for a X amount of year lease. So it was a lease. So I had to turn it in. But still, I had a free car with no payment for basically 2 years. And it was this little gray Sentra. I named it Christian Gray. And it sat so low, I couldn't see over the dashboard. So, I mean, I was a curb hitter.
Oh.
I hit so many curbs. And I'd be listening to, like, that rap song, Yikin'. And I wouldn't even hear it because I'd be like, and then I was like, when the beat drops. And I'd be like, oh, that was a weird speed bump. It's probably a person.
Wasn't a person. No.
I hope not.
Legally.
Don't let the robots hear that.
No. That's probably a curb.
Yeah. It was just a regular old curb.
Yeah, they need to do more like 2-for-1s or stuff like that on cars. Why don't they do
And
that?
they need to put less curbs places.
Yeah, get rid of all these curbs.
Why do we need all these? Ain't nobody walking around here.
Yeah, nobody walks anymore. It's dumb.
You know what's crazy? I love walking. You know, Kurt knows this. You know, when you go to Europe, you get used to having a walkable place. Let me tell y'all about my little town that I walk in. My little town I walk in, I can't barely walk because there's like degenerate ass redneck dogs trying to like eat me all the time. And they're just like run loose. So y'all, I'm so South Florida. I literally bring a chancla with me. I bring a single sandal, and I just keep it like tucked in the back. Because if a dog comes up, I'm just hitting that bitch with the sandal.
Whack it.
So that happens. But then
Whack-a-mole.
also people in my little town, God bless them, it's like all blue collars. You know, they can't fathom you're walking for exercise. So I'll be walking around. And granted, I probably look like crazy when I'm walking around because I'm dressed like this and I'm like woo-wooing around, like whatever. And every time I'm walking, somebody pull up beside me and be like, you okay? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, you need a ride anywhere? I'm like, no, I'm just walking, you know, for exercise. And they're like, oh, and then they go on. And I'm like, can y'all not fathom that I'm trying to get my steps in? Like, it's crazy.
They're just checking on you, making sure.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful I have people in my neighborhood that do, but a lot of times I'm like, would you leave me be? I'm trying to have a hot girl walk.
That dog thing is real, though. I went for a run and when I was in Alabama once,
Aw.
and I ran up to this dude. I swear, I'm not making this up. I'm not trying to poke fun at this guy, but, you know, he's out front of his trailer, one-arm guy, and he's in his front yard, and he's practicing his ninja throwing stars on a target.
It was probably my cousin.
Yeah. And his dog, some pit bull out there, I ran up, and the dog looked at me, and I'm not afraid of dogs, you know, but this, with the ninja star guy out front, I'm like, him and the dog were both looking at me like,
Oh.
this was not a running neighborhood. This is not where I live in
That's what it
East.
is.
This isn't in deep South Alabama. And I was like, okay, I'm going to just head back now.
Maybe my neighborhood just ain't a walking neighborhood.
Yeah.
But I be walking, though. You'll see me in my moo-moo walking
Your
around.
town you live in is amazing, though.
I love my little town.
Yeah.
It's so hippy-dippy. I won't say where it is because you could probably literally make a lap and find out where I live because y'all know how I am. I've got shit hanging on my porch, all kinds of stuff. My mailbox is painted all silly, but it's cool because you want to know something so cute? I painted my mailbox. It was one beautiful spring day. And I don't know what I was doing. I wasn't doing nothing. And I just pulled up a stool out there and I sat on my mailbox. I said, I'm going to paint this. And I painted little, like, whatevers on it. And then a couple weeks later, I see, like, everybody in the neighborhood starts painting their mailboxes. And I'm like,
That's
I
great.
started a trend. And, like, probably people are posting about me on the Facebook page of that town, be like, have y'all seen this crazy woman in a moo-moo walking around at night? You know.
Little town Facebook groups are like
the best.
a gold mine.
Y'all.
You want to talk about tea?
Oh, yeah. Mine has the tea. There's just one old man that walks with his dog off the leash, and you would think he joined ISIS.
Yeah.
They hate him. I mean, and he lets his dog, like, attack everybody else's dogs, but, like, through the fence, my dogs go ballistic every time he walks by. He's broke my screen door, like, 3 times, and I've had to be a man, fix my screen door. And I'm like, damn, this dude, I literally have gone out once again in my moo-moo. I've hollered at him every single time. I'm like, get that damn thing on a leash. And he just, he walks away. And then everybody posts about him on Facebook. I'm like,
You got to put your dog on a leash. I feel strong about this. I mean, if
I do
you're in the
too.
middle of nowhere, then it's like I understand why you're not.
Yes.
But this dude, the other day I was getting out of my car, and there's these two kids, a boy and a girl, probably 10 and 12 or something, and they're chasing this dog, and the dog was off the leash, and the dog was just laughing at them, trying to catch him.
Aww.
And then 100 yards back was the dad, bigger, portly gentleman, sweating, trying to keep up with the kids, trying to get the dog back. And I'm like, do you need help getting your dog? And he's like, yes. I'm like, okay.
Kurt's like, it's my time to shine. I'm going to run.
All right. I'm like, got this, dude. Cardio, all-time high. And so I'm like, okay, instead of just following him, why don't we split up? I'll go over here, and you go there, and just leave the dog to me, and I'll pick up this little dog. And so okay, good idea. Because they were just following it and weren't making any headway at all. So they led the dog to me, and we're in this alley in East Nashville, and the dog came up, and I said, hey, Fido, and it freaked the fuck out on me. It bit the shit out of me.
Oh, my God.
You're like, you knew this was going to... And so I had to get this I hit him with a huge garbage can. I had to hit this dog.
A garbage can?
Like, not like a can, like a roller thing.
Oh.
And I was like, and it bit me, and then the dad the dad grabbed it, and it was fine. And he was like, I'm sorry. I'm like, it's okay. Like, I had to go get a rabies shot.
Dang, it broke skin.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. And,
I hate getting rabies shots.
yeah, it's not the best.
Makes you less feral.
I was
They
going to
hurt.
say, yeah.
Yeah, they are a strong needle.
Y'all know, like, people, like, get unalived by rabies? It's, like, a thing that happens.
Oh, I did a lot of Googling, trust me, when I got bit by
Get
Okay.
I was wearing
unalive?
jeans, too.
You mean like they die?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, I was trying to be considerate for Instagram. But, okay, so I
You
learned
can't
a
say
lot.
You can't even say die.
Yeah, you can. It's crazy. Anyways,
It's like on a plane, you can't even say bomb. Bomb.
You can't even say you're smuggling anything
Yeah.
anymore. No, I learned a lot about rabies when I was in India. I spent some time.
What?
So I spent some time on the border of Pakistan and India and
course.
Nepal and the Himalayas.
As we do.
As one does, you know. It was my very, very first time out of the country ever. I mean, I ain't even been to Mexico, and I went to India first, you know, whatever.
Pakistani border,
So I go there, and it's kind of heaven for me, y'all. All this beautiful, cool stuff. The spice markets, the people
It's
are
very
so
hippy
nice.
dippy over there.
It's so hippy dippy, and what makes it even better is there's dogs everywhere. I find that everywhere I travel, places are either a dog place or a cat place. Like Greece is a cat place. There's just overrun with cats. But India was a dog place, and there's just so many dogs. And if I'm around like 50-something dogs, I'm going to be so tickled. Like, that's one way to just make me just happier than anything. So all these dogs are coming up to me. I'm petting every single dog that I see, whatever. And the doctor that we're with in India, she's like, Cassidy, she's like, do you realize that we are about 20 minutes from any hospital, right? Like, and that's if we get lucky and can get a car. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, why? She's like, you realize that a lot of these dogs carry rabies. And I'm like, oh, it's fine. It's rabies. She's like, you want to know how they handle rabies in India? And I said, how? They said, if you can't get to a shot in time, you've got like an X amount of window to get to a shot before rabies. I think you have like X amount of hours. And if you don't get that shot before then, you die. But instead of them just like taking you out like humanely, in India, they put you in this room, basically lock you in a jail cell, and they just let you die because they can't like kill you. So she's like, you literally have to be like locked in this room. You're gonna dehydrate. You're not gonna. You're gonna be trying to drink everything. You're gonna go mad, and then eventually you're just gonna die. But she's like, it's very slow and painful. And then I'm like, she's telling me this. I'm petting a dog, and I'm just like,
Oh, boy. Oh.
You're like, but this is a good baby dog.
This is a good boy. He's a good boy.
I had the encounter of this like angel dog in India. Like I was there on this big mission trip, and we were having like this. Contrary to my hood ratness, I do love Jesus. You know, it's like that shirt. Like I love Jesus, but I cuss a little bit. We was out here doing this like mission thing, and we were doing like a devotion out on the side of this mountain in the Himalayas, and this dog had followed us up the whole time. I named him Coda because like a music thing. I was like, he just keeps coming back. He's Coda.
That's cute.
And we seen him like the whole time we was there, and he followed us up the mountain. And when we were sitting on the side of the mountain, there was monkeys that kept trying to come and like grab our shit, right? And this dog would chase off the monkeys every time. And then there was crows that kept trying to get her. And then the dog would chase off the crows. And then we walked down the mountain. The dog was still following us. And this big pack of like stray dogs comes up behind us and starts growling. And, you know, we're like 6 women here just like vibing in India. And these like, I mean, a pack of like 15 dogs comes up behind us and is like snapping at our ankles. Crazy shit. And our little dog, our little Coda dog, he's just like this black collie mix, right? It's whatever it is. He turns around, he plants his feet, and he gives this big old growl and this big old bark. And like all 15 of those dogs just wandered away. That was like the alpha dog for them.
He was like, "They're with me, boys."
Yeah, literally. And we walked on, and that dog went one way, and we went another, and I never seen it again the whole time we was there.
Dakota, we appreciate
Dakota.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anti-rabies dog.
Yes. I'm so glad I don't have rabies. Jeez.
Oh, God,
I hope
almighty,
you
me
never
too.
do.
Mm-hmm.
Hope nobody ever gets rabies. Or tetanus.
Yeah. I've had plenty of tetanus shots.
Or malaria.
Yeah, I never had malaria.
You know what my dad said about COVID?
Or bonitis.
Bonitis.
Yeah. You don't want that.
Oh, Lord. When my dad got COVID last year, or 2 years ago, whatever, I asked him, like, Dad, how'd he feel? He said, well, it's worse than the flu, but it ain't as bad as malaria.
I mean, it's true, though.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Swamp donkey's a crazy creature, man. My dad, that's what we call him.
Okay. I was like, what are you talking about? Okay. Your dad, Swamp Donkey.
I don't know what it actually means. He told me that that's what they called ugly women in Germany, but I don't know if that's true. But his Instagram name was literally Swamp Donkey forever. That was like his army name.
I'm going to follow your dad on Instagram.
You should. He would love it. My dad is like, man, Dave is a creature on his own.
I can't wait to meet him.
Have you not met him?
I don't
You've
think
met
so.
you took a shot with my mom one time, and I thought she'd have a virtue heart attack because she was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe they got a picture of me taking a shot." And
Hell
you know,
yeah.
Baptists don't. My mom's very Baptist.
Yeah.
Baptists don't like to drink because it could lead to dancing. God forbid.
That dancing is the devil.
They don't like dancing.
Yeah. My mom's family they're all Baptist, and my mom and her sister were driving to Gainesville to visit their dad, who's at the hospital. And it was the week of some UF game. And so they're going to the hospital there in Gainesville, and they were stuck in traffic because of the game traffic. And the windows down. It was a nice, cool evening. And this college kid pops up on the passenger side where my aunt was. And it was like, "You want to do one?" And he had a beer bong. And she said, "Oh, Lord, I'm a Christian woman." And he was like, "All right." Just
Out
chugged it.
of a movie. That's crazy.
Absolutely. So whenever we're drinking at the house, I say, "You want another one?" "I'm a Christian woman."
I love it, man.
Yeah.
Growing up in the Baptist church was kind of crazy. Like, I grew up in the half Baptist church, like, out. I mean, if I played y'all a recording from my old church, you'd be like, what in the deliverance is this? I mean,
My daddy was a rattlesnake preacher.
oh my God. Like, talk about, it's one of them dudes that's got to go every other word. He's got to like have some like little breathy interjection. But like very powerful. If you like actually listen to what he's saying, you're like, oh Lord, he's like kind of speaking to my soul. And then the other side of where I grew up I grew up in the black church in our town. And like all my cousins, like I really owe my voice and my vocal training to them because they were the ones that like, you could listen to me until I didn't learn how to sing in a white people's church.
100% Pentecostal vibe.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, growing up in that's kind of crazy. I'm very thankful that I did because now I take it as a very special part of my culture. Not very many people get to grow up in a very small, like, literal little white church. And it was really cool to, like, be a part of that at a young age and then come up in country music and get to write songs about it and mean it,
Yeah.
Because all
You've had a very unique upbringing, to say the least.
Oh, God, yeah. Moving 20 times, where are you from is kind of like a loaded question for me these days.
Florida, Carolinas.
Kentucky.
Yeah.
I mean, I call it the redneck Bermuda Triangle, and I just went back and forth between Carolina, Kentucky, and Florida. Just my whole life, and it's great. I wouldn't have asked for anything else because I could sleep anywhere. It prepared me to be a musician. I could sleep anywhere. I love meeting new people. I love traveling. I could be in the car forever, You put me in a car and I have like a little nook to sleep in, you won't hear a peep out of me the whole time.
I don't believe that for a second.
No, we always say in the band van, you're either a yapper or a napper.
Oh, that's on brand.
It is. I mean, and if I'm driving, a lot of times, I don't know, I'm driving. My band must trust me a lot because I'm not the best driver.
I've been in the car with you, yeah.
I got the ADHD, man. Driving's not my strong suit.
It's not mine either.
So
I love a good not driving session.
Yeah. Sitting and like being able to do stuff on my phone and answer emails so they don't stack up, that's my favorite.
Yeah. Well, and I like when other people drive, honestly, because I don't have the anxiety of like, oh shit, are these people going to literally, what I think of when I'm driving is the music good enough? Are people vibing to my playlist right now? And
DJing is hard.
That's the least thing I need to be worried about. I probably need to be worried about like if I'm going to run a stop sign or something.
Yeah, I was the youngest of 4 boys, so driving, I didn't have to do that much,
Yeah.
Like my mom, of course, drove us around when we were little kids, and then when my brothers got old enough to drive, they would drive us everywhere until they left the house.
Aww.
And then my brother Chaz was 2 years older than me, so he drove everywhere.
What was y'all's first car?
This is such a great question. Mine was I had the same conversation with Tracy Chapman, which was cool. And hers was an Ultima, I think.
Hell yeah.
I'd have to go. I forget. I think it was something like that.
Let's go, Tracy.
Yeah.
My girl.
I know. Hippy dippy, for sure. Mine was a Jeep Cherokee.
Oh, that's a good one.
And so I didn't get a car until late in life.
Yeah.
Because, both my parents had cars, but my mom would work at home starting towards the end of my high school. So there's always an extra car at the house. Mm-hmm. Then I went to college. I lived in Boston, didn't need a car there. And so I moved to Nashville. I'm like, I need a car. My brother used to be a mechanic, so I'm like, what do I get? And him and my mom talked, and my mom was like, hey, I think you should get this. And my brother's like, yeah, get that. And so I got a Jeep Cherokee, 97 Jeep Cherokee inline 6.
Aww.
Just like a great car. And what was cool about it is we paid $2,500 for it. And, no check engine light, ran clean, bought it, drove to Nashville when I moved. Then I was making some noises, whatever. I took to the shop, and they're like, hey, bud, someone has unscrewed the check engine bulb.
Oh, no.
So when you bought it, that's there was a problem with it you didn't know.
Oh, shit.
Well, the karma of it is when my mom picked it up, I flew down, and it was my car. And there was a wedding ring in the car and like a gold band. And so we called them, hey, we have this ring is in the car. And they wouldn't pick up and they wouldn't answer because the check engine bolt was off. But they didn't realize they had left the ring.
Was it like a diamond ring?
No, it was like a gold band.
Just like a band. Yeah. Okay.
Actually, I have to check. I've never actually laid eyes on it. So I need to talk to my mom. But yeah. So my mom was like, there's some wedding ring that was in there. And we called to give it back because we didn't know there was something wrong with the car. But they knew, so they weren't answering.
Yeah.
So it was like $2,500 cash. So that was my first car.
Well, did you pawn the wedding ring?
It's at my parents' house still.
Well, that should be your karma right there. Sell me a bad car while I sell your wedding ring and get a new car.
There you go.
Sorry, that's maybe my thinking. What was your first car?
I had my parents' deal was that we had to save up enough money to buy our own car.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So my first car was a 1987 Buick Skyhawk.
Okay.
Which is like pretty crappy, and it had sat out in the sun for so long before the guy I bought it off of like redid it. And I would say redid lightly. It had a hood scoop on the front.
Oh yeah.
That didn't go to the motor. It just was like a fake hood scoop, and it was screwed on with screws. And on the back, by the way, the color spray paint black.
Oh.
Spray paint black like primer.
Better than boat paint black.
So,
that's what it is.
Yeah. I do love a good matte car now, And the interior, I don't know what color it was originally, but by the time I got to it from it sitting out for so long, it was like almost like a brown. And it was $700 cash, and it was the Buick because the B was off the back.
Not
so it just said Buick.
Better than just the ick.
Yeah. So it was the Buick Skyhawk, spray paint black. Megan, my friend Megan, who
I love Megan.
she we were going to prom together, and she's like, I'm not driving in that thing.
I love her for
think,
that.
I don't think we'll make it there. So I got to
love
drive
her for
her mom's boyfriend's car to the prom, which was way
Slay.
nicer.
You should turn the U in Uick upside down so it said Nick.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good
We had
idea.
talked about that back then
Yeah.
too. But my my football coach, loved it. He was like, "This is the best car ever." Like they were just like they thought it was the coolest, funnest car ever.
Honestly, I love an old Buick. I've taken
Yeah.
pictures with those like on the side of the road sometimes. If I see like an old abandoned car lot, if there's no dogs that are like trying to bite my ass, I'll go and have like a little photo shoot out there at like the junkyards and stuff. And it's really cool. My first car was, it's so on brand, y'all.
Can we guess it or no?
Yeah, go ahead and guess.
My first car was a pickup truck. I don't know. Is it Altima?
No, it
Okay.
wasn't. My family
Volkswagen?
did drive Nissans though forever. Yes, Volkswagen.
A Beetle? Okay.
Checks out.
Okay. Nice. You didn't know that. It was just your guess?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my first car was a 1999 Volkswagen Beetle, and it was white.
Convertible or no?
No, sometimes the door flung open though when I merged on the highway, and it had a little strap on there that my dad rigged up for me that I'd have to go like.
All swamp donkey.
I literally would have to be like this, like to grab it. Like I'd turn and then the passenger door would open, and I'd literally have to jump, grab the strap, pull it back, and shut the door and lock it so it wouldn't open.
It's like when you're on a plane and the door opens like in a movie and all the air gets pulled out. You're
Oh.
like, close the door.
We also it was one of the old Mexican made Beetles, right? Like, and I mean the side panels on the door was unscrewed, and we was like, this is weird. So we unscrewed the door panels, and I'll be damned if we didn't find some Colombian treats in there.
No, you didn't.
This is in Florida, mind you.
Okay, that's on brand,
Stuart,
yeah.
Florida.
Cocaine?
Oh yeah,
Holy shit.
and we just
How old are you?
I was 16, and we got rid of it or something. I don't know what we did with it, but we got rid of it. You know, everyone in Florida talks about their first square fish. You know what a square fish is? It's when you're fishing and you catch a square thing of cocaine in the water, and it happens more often than you would think. But this was in the side panels of my little Volkswagen Beetle, and we got rid of it. My dad fixed it up real good. My dad's real good with cars, and he fixed it up for me. And man, that thing was the pimp mobile for a little bit. We used to drift it all the time because, you know, Beetles ain't very top heavy. So we'd take it around down in Florida, drift it, and we'd race. It was a stick shift, so I'd go up next to like some old dude's like Corvette, just, you know, flexing down in South Florida. And I'd be like, revving that thing, and he'd be looking at me like, what?
Rev on that thing.
Yeah, I was, man. I mean, that was the funnest car ever. I had a Janis Joplin sticker on it. I had the Zoso
This is so on
Zeppelin
brand.
thing on it.
Yeah.
Sublime Sun right in the middle on the back window.
Little Grateful Dead.
Oh yeah,
there.
Grateful Dead. I have my Aztec seat covers that I still have in my Hyundai now.
Is that like the beads?
Yeah, I have like all this bullshit hanging from the rearview mirror. Like
You do have a lot of shit in your car, I've
I
noticed.
do. I have crystals.
brand, though.
I have crystals in my. I bought a little container for them, and they're chilling like on the
I
dash.
think you should sell crystals in your online merch store.
I agree.
and in person.
Oh my gosh! Well, I'm gonna have to. If I do that, I want to very bad. I would love that, but I want to be able to source them ethically.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't want some dyed quartz that some 4-year-old dug up. You know what I mean? So like, I'll have to get them ethically, and I can because I have a lot of witchy friends that have great stores in town. So I'll be like, yo, let me just sell them on mine.
There you go.
They would love it.
I think that's super on brand too, honestly.
Oh yeah.
Necklace or whatever.
No, I'll
Just
sell
the
really
rocks.
small ones so you can put them in your bra like I do.
Okay, this is I'm out of my depth on this, but I'm thinking like Laney's got the flared jeans, you know, and like you just have the crystals,
I've got all kinds of rocks, man.
and then you start selling like the white Mustang like voodoo dolls or something.
If I started selling voodoo dolls, that's so funny. Oh my gosh. I don't mess with voodoo. We talking about cars. One time I was messing around with witchcraft. I went through 3 cars in 1 week.
Yuck.
Yeah. It was crazy. That was the Lord telling me don't mess around with that stuff. And I
Hey, be safe out there, kids.
don't do witchcraft. You'll
Don't
go
do
through 3
witchcraft.
cars.
Don't be witching no more. That's what he said.
I don't mess
Don't
with
be
witches
witching,
no more.
bitches.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Anyways, sorry I've yapped for the past 40 minutes.
No, this is
No.
I'm enjoying this. It's
Same.
fun. Yeah.
We absolutely love you.
Oh, I love you too. We forgot
musically, as a person, as a human, just everything.
Thanks, guys.
You got anything you want to like promo or? did
Well,
talk about
we forgot to talk about Hondo.
Oh yeah, talk about.
Sorry,
Hondo.
I'm like my ADHD be changing subjects on y'all. I don't mean
So
to.
we did the promo for that.
Yes.
But it ended up being a weekend where we had another thing, so we couldn't figure out how to make it work to get out to
Oh my
it.
gosh! Next
But
year, y'all
Ike
have
was
to
there.
come. Yes, Ike was there. I literally was. That's when I was tanning and I seen the NASCAR guy on the billboard, and then all of a sudden I get a text from Ike. He's like, "Why is your location so close to me?" I'm like, "What the hell? I didn't even know he's gonna be out there." And then he came to the lobby and we talked for a little bit. I was with his family. They probably think I'm crazy and alone, but Hondo was great, y'all. Like, my friends have put this festival together. Like, I was there when they started, thinking about the idea of doing a rodeo music festival. It was, the ones that I'm friends with is Blake Cody, Dallas Jackson, Cord McCoy, James Trawick. Like, they're all these just titans of men that have worked in rodeo and music and Nashville, like Arizona, all the things. And there's more guys like Bob Coker that, helped pull this thing together. It's just like a bunch of dudes. And I'm all real tight with them, and I knew this thing was going to be big, but I didn't think it was going to be this big. Like, this was crazy, y'all. Like, I get there, and honestly, like, as it started approaching the week before, I started seeing the numbers on socials of all their stuff, and I'm like, oh, this is pulling in crazy people. They had an outdoor stage from the Distillery, which is Steve Kovac, and, I mean, it was great. He had some great bands out there, and then the inside stage lineup was crazy. I mean, Whiskey Myers, Hank Jr., Turnpike Troubadours, Brooks and Dunn. What was
Holy
the third
shit.
night? Zach Brown Band, Old Dominion. Like, fantastic
That's awesome.
lineup.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they just... I only sang the national anthem for the rodeo part. And, I mean, they treated me as if I was in Zach Brown Band. Like, they treated me so well. And the amount of networking I got to do there, I think, like, the rodeo scene is about to be very upcoming, y'all. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I think NFR is the new Key West Songwriters Festival as far as, like, networking. Everybody goes to Key West to, like, network. Now it's like, you need to go to NFR.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I'm trying to make it out there this year for that. But
I
Hondo
think we're
was
gonna
great.
be out there.
Are you going to be out there?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'll holler at y'all then because I want to go.
If you guys need a dobro player,
I
Las
don't even think
Vegas?
I'll have no gigs. Like, I met some really good friends now that work for PBR. I met some of the Indian chiefs out there that want me to come sing at some of the casinos. I met some
Sick.
people for the Arizona Diamondbacks. So hopefully I'll be doing the anthem for that soon. Like, it was just a really productive weekend for music and for any business really in general. Like, I felt like a bad bitch all weekend.
hell yeah!
I
love
felt
that.
like it's very rare that a musician gets to feel like a business person. And I felt that way this weekend because they just treated me with the utmost respect. And it was more like, oh, instead of a personality, you're like, actually, you know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah.
And it felt good.
That's sick.
It was good, y'all.
Yeah.
I loved it. Got some great content out there, too.
Yay.
Yep.
Well, appreciate you stopping by.
Thanks,
hanging.
guys.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. I love y'all both so very much.
Same.
I'm always part of the Raised Rowdy brand. So.
True.
I
Your
always,
family.
I always say we collect great people, and you're a great person, Cass.
Oh,
We
thank
love
you.
you.
Back at y'all. I love y'all.
You too. Well, guys, I'm Nicky T,
I'm Kurt Ozan.
I'm
We'll see
Cassidy
you-
Daniels.
and we'll
see you in the front row. Go follow Cassidy.
of the
Goodbye.
Cassidy Daniel Show.